At one point, Nokia wasn't just a phone brand, it was the phone brand. In the early 2000s, Nokia controlled more than 40% of the global mobile phone market. Its devices were everywhere, its ringtone was iconic, and its dominance looked unbreakable. Then, almost overnight, everything collapsed. What went wrong wasn't a lack of money, talent, or technology. It was a single strategic mistake that cost Nokia billions and permanently changed the tech industry. Nokia before the fall. Absolute dominance. To understand Nokia's collapse, you first have to understand how powerful it was. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Nokia was the world's largest mobile phone manufacturer. Its phones were durable, affordable, and trusted. Nokia devices worked everywhere. Batteries lasted for days, and the company had deep relationships with carriers across the globe. By 2007, Nokia was shipping hundreds of millions of phones annually and generating massive profits. Internally, many executives believed Nokia was too big to fail. That confidence would soon become dangerous. The smartphone shift Nokia didn't take seriously. The mobile phone market was changing, but Nokia didn't see the threat clearly enough. For Nokia, phones were hardware products first, software was secondary. The company believed users mainly cared about call quality, battery life, and reliability. Then, in 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone. It wasn't just a phone, it was a pocket computer with a touchscreen, a full web browser, and later an app ecosystem. Nokia's leadership initially dismissed it. Internally, the iPhone was seen as expensive, niche, and impractical for mass markets. This was the first major mistake. Nokia underestimated how quickly smartphones would redefine consumer expectations. Symbian, the software that held Nokia back. Nokia already had a smartphone operating system called Symbian. On paper, it was powerful. In reality, it was outdated, complex, and slow to evolve. Symbian had been built for keypad phones, not touchscreens, and modifying it was extremely difficult. Developers hated working with it, updates took too long, the user experience felt clunky compared to iOS and later Android. Nokia engineers knew this, but changing course was risky and expensive. Instead of killing Symbian early and starting fresh, Nokia kept patching it. This decision delayed progress and left Nokia stuck with software that couldn't compete in a touchscreen-first world. Internal politics and fear-based leadership. One of Nokia's most damaging problems wasn't technology, it was culture. Multiple internal reports later revealed a company plagued by fear, silos, and poor communication. Managers were afraid to challenge executives, bad news was softened or hidden, teams competed internally instead of collaborating. Software teams and hardware teams blamed each other when products failed. When engineers raised concerns about Symbian and warned that Apple and Google were moving too fast, leadership often ignored or downplayed the warnings. Decisions were slow, cautious, and defensive in an industry that required speed and boldness. The Android decision Nokia never made. Perhaps the most expensive decision Nokia ever made was not choosing Android when it had the chance. Google offered Android to major manufacturers early on. Companies like Samsung saw the opportunity and jumped in. Nokia evaluated Android, but believed it would lose control over its ecosystem and brand. Instead of adopting Android and competing aggressively, Nokia chose to build its own solutions while sticking to Symbian longer than it should have. This allowed Samsung and others to dominate Android, while Apple continued owning the premium segment. By the time Nokia seriously reconsidered Android, it was already too late. The Microsoft partnership gamble. In 2011, Nokia made a desperate move. It partnered exclusively with Microsoft and adopted Windows Phone as its primary smartphone platform. The idea was to create a third ecosystem to compete with iOS and Android. On paper, it made sense. Microsoft had deep pockets, enterprise reach, and software expertise. Nokia had hardware scale and brand recognition.
In reality, it was a disaster. Windows Phone lacked apps. Developers didn't support it, consumers didn't trust it. Nokia tied its entire future to a platform that never gained meaningful market share. This was the billion-dollar bet that sealed Nokia's fate. Losing the app ecosystem war. Modern smartphones are powered by apps, not hardware. Apple understood this early. Google followed quickly. Nokia did not. Even when Nokia's hardware was competitive, users avoided its phones because popular apps were missing or poorly supported. Developers focused on iOS and Android, where the audience and revenue were. Without a strong app ecosystem, Nokia phones felt incomplete, regardless of build quality or camera performance. Once consumers left, it became almost impossible to bring them back. Speed matters, and Nokia was too slow. While Apple released one focused product per year and Android evolved rapidly, Nokia struggled to execute. Products were delayed, software updates arrived late, features were promised but not delivered. In tech, timing is everything. Nokia's slow response meant that even good ideas arrived too late to matter. By the time Nokia launched polished Lumia devices, Android phones had already taken over most markets. The sale and the end of an era. In 2014, Nokia sold its mobile phone business to Microsoft for about $7.2 billion. At its peak, Nokia had been worth over $300 billion. The fall was staggering. Microsoft later wrote off most of the acquisition and exited the smartphone hardware business entirely. Nokia phones disappeared from relevance almost completely. What remained of Nokia shifted focus to telecom infrastructure, where it still operates today, but its consumer dominance was gone forever. The real billion-dollar mistake. Nokia didn't fail because it lacked talent or money. It failed because it misunderstood where value was moving. The billion-dollar mistake wasn't Symbian alone. It wasn't ignoring the iPhone. It wasn't choosing Windows Phone. The real mistake was failing to accept that software and ecosystems had become more important than hardware. Nokia tried to protect its old strengths instead of reinventing itself fast enough. In tech, that hesitation is fatal. Nokia's story is one of the most important business lessons in history. Being number one today doesn't protect you tomorrow. Markets change, technology shifts, and companies that hesitate get left behind. Nokia didn't lose because it was weak. It lost because it was slow to adapt. And in the tech world, speed is survival. If you found this breakdown useful, like the video, subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest tech wins and failures in history, and comment below, which company do you think is making the same mistake today?